The dog wolves test first. Most people think wolves attack the strongest dog first. They don't. They don't even attack first. They test first. Wolves are not impulsive predators. They are evaluators. Before any escalation, before any engagement, there is an assessment, and the dog they test first tells you everything about how wolves think. Coyotes exploit space. Wolves evaluate structure. A wolf pack rarely commits without information. They want to know how many guardians are present, which one leads movement, which one reacts first, which one leaves formation. They do not rush a stable perimeter, they measure it. The first dog tested is the one with responsibility. Wolves test the dog that appears to control the territory, not the loudest, not the smallest, not the youngest, the one that holds ground, the one that watches longest, the one that stands between livestock and tree line. Wolves don't test the weakness first. They test authority first, because authority defines resistance. Testing is subtle. You may see a wolf at long distance, visible but not advancing, edge pacing along timberline, coordinated circling outside light radius, silent positioning just beyond the fence. The goal is not immediate attack. The goal is reaction mapping. If the guardian charges recklessly, that's information. If it barks and holds ground, that's information. If it retreats, that's critical information. Wolves are measuring composure. The first dog tested is often the calmest one. Why? Because calm dogs control livestock movement. A chaotic guardian spreads panic. A calm guardian stabilizes. Wolves need to know, can this dog be baited? If they expose themselves briefly and retreat, does the dog pursue? If it does, wolves have identified a weakness. If it doesn't, wolves recalibrate. Wolves don't want a fair fight. Even in packs, especially in packs, injury is costly. A broken leg, a torn muscle, a deep bite wound, those can mean starvation later. So wolves test to avoid unnecessary damage. The first dog they test is the one that appears capable. They probe its boundaries. They study its patrol pattern. They measure response timing. The dog that moves first becomes the focus. At dusk, watch your guardians. Which dog shifts posture first? Which dog locks eyes toward timber? Which dog steps forward while others stay? That dog becomes the focal point. Wolves test leaders because leaders dictate outcome. If they destabilize the leader, structure weakens. Many farm owners confuse aggression with strength. Wolves don't. An aggressive dog can be manipulated. An authoritative dog is harder to move. Aggression lunges, authority holds. Wolves test to determine which one they're facing. If they see overreaction, they see opportunity. If they see calculated presence, they often hesitate. You may see 2 or 3 wolves visible at once. This isn't intimidation alone, it's triangulation. One draws visual attention, one observes the guardian's body language, one monitors herd movement. They're not looking at livestock first, they're studying the dog. The most dangerous reaction is overcommitment. When the tested dog charges too far beyond herd perimeter, wolves gain data. Distance from livestock increases. Backup guardians may not follow. The pack now knows this dog protects through pursuit, not through positioning. Pursuit creates separation. Separation creates vulnerability. The dog that stays is hardest to break. A guardian that advances only enough to warn, maintains visual contact, returns to herd quickly, works in tandem with others, is difficult to isolate. Wolves prefer isolation. If isolation fails repeatedly, many packs disengage and search easier territory. Wolves study patterns over time. This is critical. Wolves don't test once and decide. They test repeatedly. They watch feeding times, patrol routes, fence weak points, night rotation habits. They're pattern predators. The dog tested first is often the one most visible at consistent times. Predictability invites evaluation. Leadership dynamics matter. If you have multiple LGDs, wolves will test the one others follow. Disrupt that one, and pack structure may loosen. Dogs have hierarchy. Wolves sense it. They test the stabilizer, not the follower. If the stabilizer breaks formation, wolves escalate pressure. If wolves sense vulnerability, they increase frequency. Closer approaches, longer stares, reduced retreat distance. If the guardian remains composed, wolves may withdraw. If the guardian begins erratic movement, pressure increases. Testing becomes engagement. Many believe a larger guardian automatically deters wolves. Size matters, but behavior matters more. A massive dog that overextends is easier to isolate than a moderate-sized dog that anchors properly. Wolves calculate angles, not just mass. They calculate distance, not just muscle. Silent wolves are more dangerous than loud ones. Howling isn't always threat. Silence is often assessment. If wolves approach quietly and the guardian senses them before visual contact, that dog holds advantage. If wolves approach silently and guardians fail to detect early, they gain leverage. The first dog tested is often the most perceptive. Wolves need to know how sharp its awareness is. Most owners only notice visible confrontation. They miss the test. The long stares at the tree line, the coordinated movement at dusk, the subtle shifts in guardian posture. If you understand testing behavior, you intervene earlier, not with aggression, with structure. Preventing your guardian from becoming vulnerable is important. You reduce testing success by encouraging boundary discipline, discouraging long-distance pursuit, reinforcing return to herd behavior, using multiple LGDs where terrain demands, and eliminating predictable weak points. You don't outmuscle wolves, you outstructure them. Wolves respect stability. When wolves repeatedly test and see controlled response, coordinated guardians, no isolation, no panic movement, they often move on. Not because they're afraid, because risk outweighs reward. Wolves prefer efficiency. Stable guardians reduce efficiency. The first dog tested is the one that matters most. Wolves test importance, not weakness. They test the dog that defines the system, the one that anchors space, the one that determines herd direction. If that dog stays composed, wolves face resistance. If that dog breaks pattern, wolves gain momentum. Wolves don't attack first, they evaluate first. They test the dog that appears responsible for territory. They measure reaction speed. They measure emotional control. They measure formation stability. If you understand that, you stop asking, is my dog strong enough? And you start asking, is my dog structured enough? Because the first dog wolves test isn't random. It's the one that holds the line. So watch your guardians at dusk. Watch who moves first. Watch who holds longest. Because wolves are watching too. And what they see determines what happens next. If you enjoyed this video or if you learned something new, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.